Hi everyone, welcome to today's discussion, where we're diving deep into the core of our shared humanity, human rights and dignity. We often hear about these concepts in the news, in legal debates, and even in our daily lives. But how often do we truly understand the significance they hold? Let's start with the basics. What are human rights? In simple terms, they are the fundamental freedoms and protections every person is entitled to simply by being human. These rights are inherent, universal, and inalienable. They're not privileges that can be granted or taken away, but rather they are part of the very essence of who we are. In 1948, after the devastation of World War II, the United Nations adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This document lays out 30 articles that affirm our basic rights, such as the right to life, liberty, freedom of expression, and access to education. These are the cornerstones of any just society. These rights might seem obvious to us today, but throughout history, they haven't always been guaranteed. There are countless moments when entire populations were denied their fundamental freedoms. Think of slavery, apartheid, the oppression of women, or the persecution of marginalized groups. Now let's talk about dignity. The concept of dignity is at the heart of human rights. To treat someone with dignity means to recognize and respect their inherent value as a human being. It's the idea that each individual deserves to be treated with respect, regardless of their social status, race, or background. Dignity is what connects all human rights together. Without dignity, the rights we speak of would be meaningless. Imagine a world where people have the right to live freely, but are still treated as inferior or less than. That would undermine their fundamental humanity. Exactly. It's like being given freedom, but not the opportunity to fully participate in society, to speak your mind, or to be seen and heard. Dignity ensures that rights are not just laws or policies. They are lived experiences. Let's make this more tangible. Throughout history, we've seen powerful moments where human rights and dignity were defended, and others where they were trampled. Look at the fight for gender equality. Women across the world, from the suffragettes to today's activists, have pushed for the right to live free from discrimination, violence, and oppression. It's not just about giving women equal rights on paper. It's about recognizing their dignity and value in all spheres of life. Now, let's bring this discussion to the present day. While many of the human rights we take for granted are protected in most parts of the world, there are still major challenges. Conflicts, inequality, discrimination, and corruption continue to violate the basic rights of millions. From the war-torn regions in the Middle East to the humanitarian crisis of refugees fleeing violence, the need for international solidarity is greater than ever. In many countries, freedom of expression is under attack. Journalists are jailed for simply reporting the truth. Activists face violence for standing up for their rights. These attacks don't just violate laws, they strip people of their dignity, and that's something we cannot allow. So, what can we do about it? How can we ensure that human rights and dignity are respected everywhere? It starts with awareness. Understanding the rights every person has, and recognizing when those rights are being violated, is the first step. But knowledge alone is not enough. Advocacy plays a critical role. We need to speak out against injustice, whether it's on social media or in person. By standing in solidarity with those whose rights are being threatened, we make it clear that their dignity matters to us. And that brings us to education. Teaching future generations about the importance of dignity and human rights can help create a more compassionate and just world. Human rights and dignity are not abstract ideals. They are the foundation of a just and peaceful world. But they require all of us to act, to protect, and to stand up for one another. Every small action can have a ripple effect, From challenging prejudices in our own communities to supporting organizations working on the ground, the fight for human rights is ongoing, and it's one we can all be a part of. So, I want to hear from you. What does human dignity mean to you? How do you think we can protect and promote human rights in our everyday lives? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue this conversation. Remember, the struggle for human rights and dignity is far from over. But together we can make a difference. Thank you for watching. Stay informed. Stay compassionate.